How would you like to have such a wonderful display of caladiums on your balcony or your patio? Most of us would. Now keep watching and I'll share with you how we went from just a few bits of caladium tubers, and within 6 months we had these lovely display ready plants. So please keep watching. Thanks for staying and welcome to the Calyx Services Garden. I am Thelma. Now, I'm surrounded by what looks like a sea of colorful caladiums, and these are caladiums that we grew ourselves from tiny bits of tubers. We showed you that propagation video about 4 months ago, but of course I'm going to put a link on the screen, so if you want to watch that video, it will be easy for you to find. For you to enjoy this video, what I'm going to do is give you a quick summary of the propagation activities and the early results. But most of the time will be spent telling you how we cared for the young plants, and when they got to a certain stage, how we potted them and what we did subsequently to get these beautiful specimens from propagation all the way through a mature, beautiful caladium in 6 months. So let's get going. We have several types of caladiums scattered throughout the Calyx garden. And to obtain the tubers for this demo, we dug a large clump of a reddish variety and obtained a few smaller tubers from plants of the white variety. I admit that the tubers were not of the best quality. Most of them were very small. The largest tuber, which is shown here in the lower left hand of the screen, more than half of it was bald, so there were no eyes on over half of this tuber. We cut the tubers into segments or chits, with each segment having at least 2 eyes. In all, we got 18 pieces of the red variety and 12 pieces, very tiny pieces, of the white one. We placed 6 pieces in each of these 5-inch pots, covered them very lightly, watered, and placed them in an area with dappled sunlight. Here are the results at 10 weeks. I'm seeing between 3 to 6 young shoots of the red variety, but so far only 1 shoot of the white variety. But give it time. We can now start the fertilizer applications, and I'm going to be using the soluble 20-20-20 fertilizer, but at half strength. Here are the results at 4 months. We ended up with 4 pots. One of the pots that had the white variety did not produce any shoots at all. Note that the young leaves of the reddish variety start out a rather pale green color, but providing that they are in a bright location, they develop their vibrant colors as they get older. While the results were good at 4 months, we really weren't happy with the rate of growth, so it was time to transplant them from these 5-inch pots into larger containers. We selected several size pots from those that we have around the garden, and we used 2 10-inch rather shallow pots typically used for basket plants, 1 12-inch pot, and a rather deep 14-inch pot. And to fill the pots, we prepared our mix, our standard mix for containers, and this consists of equal parts of a porous soil for drainage and micronutrients, cocoa chunks, and we usually use compost, but we didn't have any, so we substituted the compost with a commercial growing media as a source of organic matter. For nutrients, we used a controlled release 14-14-14 NPK fertilizer at the rate recommended on the package for the various size containers. The label says that the nutrients are released over a 3-month period, but this period is usually less under tropical conditions. We usually reapply every 2 to 2.5 months. After transplanting the young plants into the various pots, we place them in the bright open area of the courtyard that receives dappled light. We are really pleased with the white variety. We had transplanted 3 shoots, and the initial 3 plants have set out lots more shoots. If I am to count, I am looking at about 8 young shoots coming up here, and we bunch them in the middle so that as they grow, they will have a nice little arrangement covering the pot. So we could take a look at the others. The reds were really much further advanced and had bigger shoots, and that would account for why this is such a bigger plant than the others. And you see that there are quite a few young shoots coming up. Looking at the last one, a smaller pot, and same thing, we have 3 or 4 clumps in this one with a lot of young shoots coming up. We happen to have. So, just to summarize, we know that the caladiums generally or normally go into dormancy by the end of fall, somewhere, in our case, it's by the end of November through to December. And if we don't have any need for spectacular displays, it's just as well to leave them where they are and allow them to rest and regrow sometime, usually in late spring, around May. But if you really love caladium as much as we do, we would like to have this splendor for a few more months in the year, not just 3 or 4 months. So what you do, you time when you dig up your caladium bulbs, you cut them into segments, place them to root, and allow nature to take its course thereafter. We started out this exercise in February. Well, we dug them up in December 2022. They rooted sufficiently by February for us to put them in larger pots. And here we are in June, and they're as large as I guess I would expect them to be at this time. We're going to observe them, see how long it takes for them to go into natural dormancy, and depending on what we find out, we will share that with you. So it's the end of this video, another video on caladium. We hope that you found the information of interest, and if you did, please give us a thumbs up and share the video with your friends. For those of you who may not have subscribed as yet, we're asking you please to do so. That way you're not going to miss any updates or any new videos that we upload once a week. So until the next video, I am Thelma in the Calix Services Garden saying thanks for watching, you take care, and bye-bye.